Hello and welcome to Flashback Generations, episode 15.
Morning.
As usual, there's Pete and I and Bertha the car, or whatever we called her. So today...
Gonk car, there you go.
Gonk, yeah, okay. Today we're going to focus on the Echo-based troopers, which are for Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
I think these are we're getting to the end of the trooper spam that we're seem to.
These are elite characters. These are not spam.
They're high-end troopers, you know.
Yeah.
So let's walk through them. We got two cards to cover here, the red and the grey cards. So obviously we got a normal and an elite variety. So what we have is they cost. We're going through the grey card first. They cost 6 points. The reinforcement cost is 3. The Echo-based trooper and Rebel Alliance only. And they got only the trooper keyword. You get 2 in each detachment. They have 5 health, which is pretty good actually.
It's better than a 6-point stormtrooper card where you get 9 health.
Yes, exactly. You get 5 health. They're speed 4.
Fair enough.
Bug center speed. A black die,
which
is different from the other Rebel troopers because they've got a white one.
Yeah.
And they got attack blue-green, but I'm going to put a little asterisk by that.
Yeah.
So the blue-green is good because that means that that's a stormtrooper attack.
Box standard gun, yeah.
It's it's a ranged attack in a way. Because it's got all range on the dice. So surge abilities, it's got surge +1 damage and +2 accuracy. I'm going to make a note here as well. That +1 damage is better than the +1 pierce that's offered up from the other troopers.
Yeah.
The rebel troopers, whatever they.
So they're very similar to stormtroopers, except that you get 1 less and more health.
They are, yeah. Far. Yeah, exactly. Their abilities, they got front line. While attacking, if the target is within 3 spaces of you, you may replace 1 blue die in your attack pool with 1 red die. That's really good.
It is good. It's quite risky as well. 3 spaces.
3 spaces. Here's what I found with that. If this guy has a focus on him, you'll risk it because then you're going to have 2 green and 1 red.
You're not going to miss at 3 spaces with a green, blue, red. No way.
Well,
it's very tricky.
But you can replace the blue die with a red die.
Ah, yeah, sorry.
So you could miss it because you get a double 1.
Oh, you can, yeah.
But the thing is that greens typically have a lot of surge on them too, so you end up just going, accuracy.
Yeah.
So that's the risk that you'll take with that. What I wouldn't do is when you're within 3, I wouldn't roll a red and a green unless it's the last turn of the game and you have to win and you need to actually get that. That it's a long ball. To do that. So I wouldn't do that. Willy-nilly.
Yeah.
That's.
If you got focus, you can take your pick, really, can't you? Depending on how far away you are.
You have to be within 3 to actually activate that.
To do the red.
But that is massive. The wording on this is weird though, because if the target is within 3 spaces of you, it's kind of like you need the line of sight anyway. I don't know. It's a very kind of FFG wording, I suppose.
Within. Within it does not imply line of sight, but shooting you do also need line of sight, so they don't repeat that.
Yeah, there's nothing odd about them. I don't know. Something about this sentence that looks like it's written by a computer,
that's
a program.
FFG, isn't it? Yeah. It may well be.
It's a computer programmer writing it instead of an actual human saying. Well, if GW wrote it, it probably would have been wrong.
It's something about throwing beer bottles.
Talk to your model. But this is it's good. It's actually very good. Replaced with a red die instead of the blue one. Blue one is a ranged die, and that's something that when you're playing with your stormtroopers or whatever, that they don't have enough damage output potentially. So that's very strong to be honest.
No, it's good. They're quite nasty up close. Yeah.
I'll put another point in here. Their reinforcement costs 3. Which makes them really good because that reinforcement card comes out.
That's cheating because the reinforcement cost should be 4.5, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but theirs is 3.
So they qualify for reinforcements command card,
which is ace. So you get one of these really hard troopers.
Very annoying, for the opponent when you replace one of these guys because they're not that easy to kill with 5 health.
But they're a hard one to keep alive because you don't have 3 of them. You've only got 2.
True. Yeah.
So apples and oranges there. Their other ability is you ignore efficient travel. You ignore additional movement point costs for difficult terrain and hostile figures. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, well, they're health troopers, aren't they? They walk through everything that costs 2 movement. You
can walk about on the bar in the cantina with ease because you're wearing snow boots. That's the theory. It's not a problem.
Do note that they can't walk through red terrain.
They're not flying or floating over it.
They don't have mobile, otherwise
it's the blue terrain. I mean, the current skirmish maps and the ones we've seen so far are not covered in blue terrain, but the current, is it the Navanian war zone? That one's got trenches, hasn't it? The Hoth one.
In the middle of the map, yeah.
Where there's often a big fight in the middle of the map and there's annoying trenches. The cantina, though, lots of blue terrain around that bar. Wearing snowshoes helps, so these guys... I hate to face these guys in the cantina, and I have done a few times, and it's just always very irritating because they're just zipping about all over the place.
They're okay with it.
While my stormtroopers are just crashing into bar stools and falling over.
A big thing about them too is people would usually block up areas of the bantha.
Yes.
And they just say, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll just walk through it. I'll walk through them, it's fine. They've kind of got like this agile...
I'm very jealous of these guys, as you can tell.
Yeah, they're good. Well, let's talk about the elite counterpart to them as well.
Yeah.
So
even worse.
what I'll do is I'll just compare and contrast the differences. So again, they got two in each unit. They've only got trooper keyword. They're called the same thing. They cost 8 points each. For the card, 8 points. So that's 2 points more than this card.
Yeah.
And their reinforcements cost 4, which means the reinforcements aren't going to work for them.
Right. That is a big.
That's a big downside to them already. Okay. But what do you get instead? We've got 8 health instead of the 5 health. So they got 3 more health each, which is actually better than most. How do I say it? FFG cards, because usually, like when you go up a point, so these guys are up 2 points because they got 2 models in them.
Yeah.
Usually they go up 2 health. These guys have gone up 3 health each.
8 health.
5 versus 8. So they've actually gone up quite a number there.
Well, that's why you don't get reinforcements qualification for them because
they're meant to stay alive.
So tough to kill.
They are, yeah.
They're nearly hero level, you know.
Well, they are. They're mini heroes, to be honest. And then the other thing they do is they've got instead of 1 damage, they do 2 damage, which is kind of standard. You know, the stormtroopers do that
plus
too.
2, yeah.
Yeah, and they got plus 3 accuracy, exactly the same as the stormtroopers. They got the same abilities as the other guys. So they got the frontline defense, which is the red dice.
Yeah.
Red dice instead of the blue dice. So and they also have the efficient travel.
Still
obviously.
speed 4, yeah.
Yeah, they're still forward. The big thing that these guys have is they've got a combat suit. So this piece of kit costs, I can't remember if it's unique actually, but it costs 1 point.
Yeah.
As a rebel only.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
While you are defending, reduce the pierce value of the attack results by 1 to a minimum of 0.
Yeah.
So this guy reduces pierce attacks.
Which makes them even harder to kill.
Which does, yeah. They're ace. What I've found they're really good with is MHD.
Oh, God, yeah.
So suddenly MHD can give them life back.
Yeah.
So if you're taking these guys, it nearly feels like if you're taking these, don't bother with the reinforcements, don't bother with them. If you're going for an elite trooper list, they're good, but you can take two red cards of these, nearly.
Do you remember, Sai, how much a red snow trooper has in health? Because I'm trying to compare the two.
7, 8.
Is it? So
7 or 8.
Right. Okay. So they may be, they may be the equivalent. Well,
Snowtroopers have a very different role, though. They're support as opposed.
They're healing.
These guys are meant to be. These are the guys you put them in the front. They're meant to get shot.
Yeah.
With that combat suit and a black dye, they do a lot better than most rebel troops who have a white dye and no combat suit.
Yeah. And
just seem to die a lot quicker. So yeah, I'm actually way more sold on the red ones. I think.
Yeah. You get loads more for your extra points there, don't you? Than you generally do.
Yeah. I mean, for me, for the 2 points, you're getting a lot more. It's just these little bolt-ons. It's kind of like when you've already spent the money. 6 points versus 8 points. It nearly doesn't feel like that much difference. It is a C-3PO though.
or an Imperial officer equivalent, or you know. But what do you get? You get 6 extra health on the card.
A spy is 2 points as well.
Which is worth about 8 extra health on the card with the a couple of extra health also because of the cancelled pierce.
The pierce. Well, as I said, the combat suits generally cost 1 point.
Yeah. So there's 1 point for free.
That's a huge extra point. Yeah.
It's a really good card. Yeah.
It's I think they're worth it. I'd nearly take them in pairs, and I think MHD with them is a necessity.
Yeah. Well, two red cards and an MHD.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure where you go with the rest of the list, but
well, what were you on there? Beyond 16 and MHD, I forget what it costs.
7? No, 5?
5.
Oh, 5, yeah.
8,
so 21.
Yeah.
21, but that's
just over half.
That's bulked up your troops. You could look at taking Fen, and then you said you got assault on these guys as well.
Oh god, yeah.
So which I have done.
Fire twice if you don't move. Yeah.
I have done before, and it's very powerful.
That was your list last week, wasn't it? Basically.
It was, yeah.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah. So these guys suddenly have a very strong attack.
Yeah. I only managed to beat you by pure fluke, didn't I?
Pretty much. They're great. They're really good. Their downside's definitely that they're kind of expensive, and they can go down from sustained fire.
Yeah.
Mini heroes. So, what list do they not work in very well? I think they work with C-3PO.
Yeah.
Extremely well, because then you get the focus. They work with Gideon too. I found that Gideon and C-3PO handing these guys a focus makes them incredibly powerful.
I think if you take 2 of them, and even more so if you took 2 red cards or 1 red and 1 grey, it's a massive chunk of your list. So the rest of the list, if you take elite heroes as the rest of the list, you've got quite a small number of activations. So you're at risk of running out of activations, leaving the other guy with things to do after you're all done. There's that, and plus they are very much eggs in one basket, like you said, Si. So if you do manage, if somebody manages to get the jump on them with Squad Swarm or something and finish off a card, it's quite a whack of points.
Sneak attack's a very powerful ability against these guys.
Yeah.
Don't roll any dice, just take X amount of damage.
Yeah.
They do rank up that damage quite quickly as well.
It's a good way of hiding points from the Celebrate though, because they're not unique. So people can't wipe the card and Celebrate all over it. It's. I think you need to get to that magic 7 activations, don't you, with these guys? And that means taking cheaper guys than the rest of the list. 3PO, Gideon, Mac, maybe. What's Finn? Finn's quite an expensive one, isn't it? 9. So again, it's you've got to decide: are you going to go for that low activation count elite squad, or are you going to have these guys that are your main dudes with a load of support characters around them?
They are pretty much if you're taking 2 of these, they are your list.
Yeah.
And then looking back at the grey ones, if you wanted to take more of a spam list, and you can put the reinforcements and those cards in, then the grey ones might be your answer. So they actually do.
Well, then you're tempted to put in Rebel Troopers alongside them.
Exactly. You can put either Rebel Troopers in. They do work either way, but there's consideration to whichever way your list goes.
They're kind of not quite spam and not quite heroes, so you've got to think carefully about what kind of list you set them in. It's a tricky one. I think that's all I know. You need to test it.
Yeah.
To see what works best.
All right. Okay. Let's leave it at that and talk about the command cards.
Yeah.
So we've actually run out of trooper command cards. If you want to hear more about that, look at our other trooper videos. So we've got 3 cards that will actually kind of work for these guys, but we can talk about these cards generally. So first of all, I've got Expose Weakness. This is for any figure of any faction. It costs 0 points, and you can take 1 of them. It costs an action. Choose an adjacent hostile figure. The next attack targeting that figure gains Pierce 3.
Yeah.
I've seen this card come out.
I've tried to use it and failed.
I think it's come out against me when if there's someone who's rolling 2 black dice, this is absolutely massive and a must-have. If Darth Vader ever makes a scene, or if the ATSTs ever become a bigger thing, this card will start to emerge.
That's where I tried to use it when you run into ATSTs. The trouble is it's great that it's 0. It's not great that it costs a slot in your deck. It never is. But the problem is it costs an action.
An action, and you have to be adjacent to him.
Yeah.
So the best way that this will work is if you actually start it next to somebody, you shoot them once, and then you go expose.
If that's an ATST, you're in big. You know, that guy's probably dead, or it's only going to work if you've got the initiative a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know, because if there's a guy stood next to the ATST and the ATST player's got the initiative, then that guy's, if it's with ice like you ran and Sai, he's going to be dead. Here's
my problem with this card. It costs an action, okay, and it means you have to put someone next to the card. It nearly means two activations are needed.
Yeah.
The first one you want to have, let's say for instance, you've got the smugglers or the spies. You can have a spy run up and go expose weakness, because a spy doesn't mean anything for his actual attack.
Yeah.
In fact, the spy is a pretty good one because his attack isn't good enough to really justify it.
You're on about smuggler?
Smuggler, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, was I saying spy? Smuggler, yeah. So smuggler might just go up and do that. You know, put it on someone. There you go. But that's at the expense that you're thinking that guy might die next round. Then the next thing that's going to happen is you need someone good to attack that target.
Yeah.
But these two things don't always correlate very well. You know, if you've got your, let's say these troopers, for instance, it's a bit of a waste of putting a trooper to run up to do this on a guy. Yeah. Even though they got efficient travel, which means that they can do it. And there's certain kind, like, you know, it's no good against a bantha.
No, it's no good against a bantha at all.
It's good against characters like Boba Fett, but you don't see enough of Boba Fett to really justify him as being a massive
good against Vader, like you say, or anything with two black dice. They're quite rare.
People have built in, but Luke is not even that great against. I mean, Luke gets +1 built-in defense.
Yeah.
But that'll pierce 3. That'll get rid of that pretty much, even if he rolls his.
But it's very often it's throwing away a figure.
You want to use it against someone who's rolling black dice.
Yeah.
So you have to know that your opponent has got enough black dice, or that has automatic defense built in. It is 0 points though, so it's not a terrible card.
Yeah, but it's not good either. I don't think it's good.
It's a bit on the fence. If you're playing friendly games, I think it's the sort of card that you put it. What about in a 4-player game? Is it good enough?
I don't know.
Probably not. Still, you have to throw someone away to.
No, because it's even worse because you're facing 3 teams, aren't you? Basically, instead of it's in the grand scheme of the game, it's even less effect in a 4-player because you're facing 120 points rather than 40 on the other side. No,
okay.
I've tried to use it, just couldn't get it. It wasn't bringing in the returns really. So
I'm a little bit on the side with you.
Yeah.
I like to see these cards and kind of think where could you use it effectively. But unless you got enough cheap troops to use it with, it's kind of throwing someone away.
Yeah.
But if you've got loads of cheap troops, then who's meant to take the great shot and kill someone with
exactly,
it?
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. All right, let's move on. Hit and run. It's any figure and any faction. Again, it's 1 point, and you're going to take 1 on your list. For an action, perform an attack. After the attack resolves, you gain 3 movement points.
Yep. That's good on paper.
It's actually really good, but I never take it. I don't know why.
No, it's because of the 1 point cost, probably. It's not worth the point. But it is. It's a little bit situational, but it could be absolutely awesome because you can run out, shoot, and then
pop back in again.
So it's stretching out a guy's movement, so you can get to move and shoot, and you've got movement 7 on a stormtrooper or a rebel trooper, generally, which is nice. But you've got to use the last 3 movement points after the attack.
Can I point out something bad about this card?
Yeah.
You use this card and you perform an attack. There's a lot of big characters that you'd like to perform an attack and then move back, but they're performing an attack. Let's use Luke again. He's got his lightsaber attack.
Yeah.
His lightsaber attack can't be used with this because that's not his attack. His attack is his green, red.
Yeah, this is special. You can't do a special action nested inside a special action.
Yeah, so Biv, he's a good example because he's got his run up to somebody, put them down.
Punch them in the face and then shoot. Yeah.
Whereas this is on a standard attack. Now, actually, to be honest, this is amazing on the Echo-based troopers. In fact, that's this amazing card for them because they get to run up to someone, shoot them at close range with the red die, and then they walk off.
And if they're in the cantina, they can somersault backwards over the cantina. You know, maybe get him getting out of line of sight.
Okay, so I've found a really good use for these.
Yeah.
Put this card in with your Echo-based troopers because that frontline attack isn't a special attack. It's actually just part of their rules, as is the efficient travel. It's these aren't activations. So that hit and run, if you're taking a character-heavy list with special abilities, it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. It'll work at a kind of range.
Some of the good surges it work with.
Do you know who it'll work well with? The assassin droids.
Yeah.
Because everyone moans about the assassin droids. Oh, they they fall over too easy.
Boba Fett.
That card just means they can do their attack. Boba Fett's a great one as well.
Because he's movement 6, isn't he? I believe.
Yeah, but
so suddenly he's got potential movement 9 with an attack with all his surges.
Assassin droids, you get to move, attack, and then you put them behind cover.
Yeah.
And everyone moans about how fragile they are.
They get killed easy, yeah.
Yeah. So that's I think that that's the sort of card that you need to put on with them.
Yeah, it's got its uses.
It's a good card, but it's kind of this will really play into your list.
Yeah.
More so than a lot of there's consideration of this plenty. Leia doesn't work with her. Does it? No, hers is a special ability, isn't it? Form an attack and get someone else to attack it with you.
Hold on, we've got a bit of a traffic issue here.
Road situation. Okay, well I'll move on to the next card while we're...
While I'm trying not to crash.
Yeah, I'll read it out. It is the Heart of Freedom. It's any rebel figure. Well, I've also heard quite a lot of times people saying, this is why you buy the Rebel Smuggler, this card.
Yeah.
So, use at the start of your... Oh, sorry, it costs 2 points and you can have 1 in your deck. Use at the start of your activation to discard 1 harmful condition, recover 2 life, and gain 2 movement points.
Well,
it just does everything.
Well, how many points is it? I forget.
2 points.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair. Any small figure, is it?
Any rebel figure.
Right, well, rebel figures are generally small, aren't they?
That is amazing. Talk about like utility card.
Well, it's get out of dodge, isn't it?
I mean, the thing that you'd optimally want to happen is my guy's has taken 2 damage, he's got the stun on him, and he needs to move somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do, so you can actually really utilize
that changes the character of the whole round, doesn't it?
What I think happens for the most part with this is it comes out and it does perhaps 2 of those,
How many can you have in your... There's only 1 you can have in your deck, yeah?
Yeah, you can only have 1 in your deck.
Right.
But I'm saying that you'd be very lucky to get to utilise all 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Drop a condition.
Condition.
That's awesome.
Gain
2 health.
2 life and 2 movement.
Oh yeah, you could. I mean, I think it feels like it's aimed at heroes, Oh no, Luke's coming. Right, I'll stun him. Bang, there he's stunned and he's battered up a bit. Yeah, Suddenly he drops the stun, recovers 2 life that you struggled to get off him in the first place.
He'd run at you. He's hit you with his lightsaber, and he gets to run away because he's got enough movement to do that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant, that card. I think it's good for 2 points as well. It's sort of...
It's worth it, yeah.
It's a very balanced card.
Yeah.
I like the faction specific about it.
You get all 3 of the things, don't you?
You do, yeah.
It's not or, it's and.
It's all 3, but you get it all 3 of them at the start of the round. So if something happens during the round, tough luck. If someone pulls the card.
Right, okay. Start of the round.
Start of the activation.
And it costs no action.
Nope. It's a bit of a combo of all of them, really. All of the. There's cards that do all 3 of them, but harmful conditions.
Yeah, repair or whatever.
Recover 2 is 1 point, or is that 2 points as well? 2 points as well. Oh, whatever. Anyway, this card for 2 points is just really worth it.
Yeah.
Utility card. As soon as you have that in your hand, you know you're onto a good thing. And that's the command deck done. Let's talk about the models.
Of the Echo-based troopers,
Echo-based troopers,
right?
I always call them Hoth troopers.
Yeah, they're all right.
They are.
Nothing special.
I quite like the colour scheme of them. I like painting white.
Yeah, I don't.
I think
Maybe the Stormtrooper list. I mean, all these figures, we've said before, you know, they're generally quite easy to paint compared to, say, you know, Warhammer or, you know, Malifaux, whatever you want to say.
I think that they work really nicely.
These guys, these are white, grey, brown, aren't they? With the old black guns. Away you go.
No, there is. Okay.
Bit of flesh. But yeah, I mean, they do the job. They're going to look awesome stood next to the Tauntaun when it's inevitably released. Surely they will do one day. You know, you'll get a Rebel Trooper on a Tauntaun. That's what I'm dreaming of.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
Then you've got a little diorama there, haven't you?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Cheers for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Cheerio.